Hi, I'm Davy. I'm awesome. And welcome to Davy's Awesome Wrestling, where I review wrestling-related things, all from the perspective of a fan, not an insider. And this week was Backlash 2023 from Puerto Rico. Finally, they took off the WrestleMania part at the beginning, because we know what Backlash is. The opening match for the Raw Women's Championship. Bianca Belair defended her championship against Io Sky. It was good and exciting and all. There was plenty of back and forth and plenty of close calls, but I don't think anybody believed that they were actually going to have Io Sky win the championship. And of course, it was said that Io Sky didn't want Damage Control coming out, but they did eventually anyways. Bayley and Dakota Kai came out. But it didn't really help her. It actually hurt her in the end, as Bianca Belair got the KOD onto Io Sky, got the pin, retained her Raw Women's Championship, meaning she will be the longest reigning women's champion of the modern era. Although now she's going to SmackDown, and apparently a lot of fans are upset about this. They're starting to turn on Bianca Belair, and the questions are going, why? The reason is, it's not that we don't like dominant champions, but when it gets this dominant for this long, it starts to get a little stale and a little boring. I'm honestly feeling like the time's coming she needs to drop the title, but not to the random this month's challenger thing. There needs to be a really good rivalry built up for this. It's gone on too long to just be this month's opponent. However, as far as the match itself goes, I would easily give it a 3 out of 5. Yay! Then before the next match, we got a surprise cameo from Savio Vega, who gave a Puerto Rican kendo stick to Bad Bunny. Second match, Omos versus Seth Rollins. It was okay, but who cares? And again, we all knew that Seth Rollins was going to win. But I remember watching the match and thinking, like, if Omos wins, there's no way they're going to be able to explain that. Nobody's going to buy it. And then I thought about the dynamic there. He's such a bad wrestler. Even though he's over 7 feet tall, he's such a bad wrestler that if he beats Seth Rollins, nobody would buy it. That's really bad. But it did end how we kind of figured. Seth Rollins got 2 curb stomps, which didn't do the job, so he did a curb stomp from the top rope, which got him the pin, and made him victorious over Omos. I will say this, even though I really just didn't care about the match, even though it really was just that kind of match, it was to give Seth Rollins something to do, I will say he did carry it enough to where I would give it a 3 out of 5. Third match, a triple threat for the United States Championship. Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed versus champion Austin Theory. Honestly, the most exciting thing about this match, they put the buttons back on the championship. I mean, looks like it's buttons and Velcro, but I can live with that. Other than that, it was okay, but really nothing thrilling. Austin Theory was obviously the odd man out against 2 really big guys, but Bobby Lashley got a spear on Bronson Reed, and Theory very quickly swooped in there and took his pin and retained his United States Championship. Honestly, I was having trouble paying attention to this match. It was just so basic. I only give it a 2 out of 5. Then for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley defended her championship against Zelina Vega. It was good, but it was way too predictable. Like, I know they were building up the fact that Zelina Vega is Puerto Rican. This was the first big event in Puerto Rico in a long time, but I still didn't think she was going to win. However, I got to hand it to both competitors. They put on a great match. Until Rhea Ripley got the riptide onto Zelina Vega and got the pin, retaining her SmackDown Women's Championship, even though she's just been drafted to Raw. But then after that, Zelina Vega got emotional for the crowd. Not emotional because she lost, but just emotional for getting to wrestle in front of her people. So that was a feel-good moment. Plus the match itself, I would easily give this one its 3 out of 5. Then the first main event. The San Juan street fight between Damian Priest and Bad Bunny. And of course, it's a street fight, so Bad Bunny came prepared with a shopping cart full of goodies. Honestly, I wasn't expecting much out of it because as much as people wanted to praise Bad Bunny for his WrestleMania appearance, it wasn't that fantastic. But this one was. This was a damn good fight. Chaotic. Weapons. Tables. In fact, Damian Priest at one point went on the outside and put Bad Bunny through 2 tables at once. Of course, as we would expect, Judgment Day came out eventually. Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio. So, Rey Mysterio came out to help Bad Bunny. Followed by Carlito. Later followed by Savio Vega. And then, of course, the rest of the LWO came out and got the rest of Judgment Day out of there, so that once again, it was just Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. And it ended when Bad Bunny got a Canadian Destroyer onto Priest, got the pin, and the win. So like I said, this match was very good. It was very exciting. I wouldn't say it was much of a wrestling match so much as it was a freaking fight, but still very exciting. In fact, I gotta give it to Bad Bunny. I would say this one was match of the night. I'd give it a 5 out of 5. Six match, 6-man tag. The Bloodline members, the Usos and Solo Sikoa versus Matt Riddle, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. It was okay. In fact, wrestling-wise, it was a good match. I'm just very bored with the whole Bloodline story right now. Especially the stuff with the Usos, Solo, and Roman Reigns. The whole will they, won't they thing. Freaking pull the trigger or don't, but enough. I mean, at one point it got interesting when it looked like they were about to pull the trigger, as Solo Sikoa, confused, almost hit Jey Uso with the Samoan Spike, and stood there for a second like he was debating it, but then didn't, hit Matt Riddle with that Samoan Spike, and got the pin, winning it for the Bloodline. And then afterwards he's getting death stares from Jey, who clearly doesn't trust his little brother Solo. So like I said, the match itself, it was good, I just didn't care, and especially with the fact that they are just dragging this on even more, made it feel like filler. I'd only give this one a 2 out of 5. Yeah! Then the actual main event. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. Again, I didn't really care because it all feels like filler. I mean, it was good, and don't get me wrong, I like Cody Rhodes. I'm a big fan of Cody Rhodes. Still mad that he didn't win the title at WrestleMania. But this rivalry with Brock Lesnar is pointless. It is completely 100% pointless. It is to keep him busy until SummerSlam or something. I don't know. I don't know if and when they're going to finally finish that story. But it's really just something for him to do in between. And it feels like it's just something for him to do in between. At one point in the match, Brock Lesnar got sent face first into an exposed turnbuckle. And it made him bleed all over the place. And the debate is still going as to whether or not that was a planned bleed or a non-planned bleed. Does it matter? I mean, it's not like they're going to fine Brock Lesnar over it. He's Brock Lesnar. He can do whatever he wants. But after that, 2 crossroads, Brock Lesnar kicked out. An F5 onto Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes kicked out. Brock Lesnar has Cody Rhodes in the Kimura arm lock. And while in the Kimura arm lock, Cody Rhodes rolls him up and gets a quick pin. Meaning he won, but not like a decisive win. So even more pointless. Meaning this isn't done, because as we know on the next Raw, Brock Lesnar cost Cody Rhodes his chance of being the inaugural World Heavyweight Champion. Which I will say good, because that would feel even more like pointless, giving him a consolation prize thing. Like I said though, I just really didn't care about this match, and I don't care about them continuing the rivalry even though they're going to. And I would give it a 2 out of 5. So Backlash 2023 overall. I will say this, I'm glad it's on Peacock, a streaming service I already have. Because if I had paid for this pay-per-view, I probably would have been mad. Because the pay-per-view was filler. That was the entire pay-per-view. It only had one really great match. The rest of them were just okay to meh. There were 3 2s, 3 3s, 1 5. No 4s. I can get over a pay-per-view having 1, maybe 2 2s. But to have 3... and 2 of those 2s were the last 2 matches, that's bad. Which was my feeling about Backlash. I remember after I watched it, of course my wife, she's not a wrestling fan, but I got up and she comes over to talk to me. She's like, hey, so how was the show? Meh. There was really nothing in here that was progressing any real stories. I mean, hardly anything was even really that built up. I'd honestly forgotten who was going to challenge Bianca Belair. And I had forgotten who was going to challenge for the United States Championship. Because there was not very much build-up to either one of those. And then even that, all 3 of the title matches, the Raw Women's Championship, the SmackDown Women's Championship, the United States Championship, they all felt like it was just giving the champion something to do as they're transitioning to whichever show they got drafted to. Seth Rollins versus Omos, same thing. It felt like it was just giving Seth Rollins something to do as they're building him towards the main event of Night of Champions. The 6-man tag just felt like it was a way to keep dragging out a tired story. And even Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar, the whole rivalry, feels like it's just giving Cody Rhodes something to do until he faces Roman Reigns again. And as far as Brock Lesnar goes, it feels like it's giving him something to do for his couple of months that he's still under contract until he goes and takes another vacation. The entire premium live event felt like a filler. And in my opinion, that shouldn't be a premium live event. Premium live events should be progressing stories or ending stories. This one didn't feel like it was doing either of those. It was like watching a movie and they have a random scene where a couple of people talk about nothing that has anything to do with the plot for a minute. Filler. The only match that honestly didn't feel like filler was the street fight between Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. And it was good, it was very entertaining, but since then there's now rumors that, they want Bad Bunny to go after one of the titles. Bad idea. Even though he did way better than I thought he would, this doesn't put him in line for a title contention, and I wouldn't buy it. I would buy that about as much as I bought Logan Paul getting a championship match, which I didn't. So really, the way I described it to my wife is really the only way I can think to describe it to you. The entire show overall was meh. I would honestly give Backlash 2023 a 2 out of 5. Yeah. So there you have it. That's my wrestling review this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and hit that little bell so you get notifications for when I post new videos, and leave a comment. Tell me what you thought of Backlash 2023. Tell me if you're hoping that Night of Champions is going to be a lot better. Love you guys.